Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
If you're a last-minute gift shopper, then Instacart is your holiday rescue app this season. No more tracking packages, no more trips to the post office, and no more Christmas gifts arriving in February. Instead, you can just download Instacart to order gifts like beauty, tech, and gourmet goods from local stores and get them delivered in as fast as 1 hour. Plus, right now, you'll get free delivery on your first 3 orders. This offer is valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply. Must be 21 plus to purchase alcohol where available.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibiers? Happy Thursday. One more day. Weekend's here. 48 hours from now, I'll be seeing Stevie Nicks with my girls. So, of course, today's music fact and tomorrow's will be about the Queen. All right, to date, Stevie Nicks remains the only woman to have 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. Her first was in 1998 for Fleetwood Mac, and her second was just in 2019 as a solo artist. Pretty awesome. So tomorrow, the episode's going to be pretty late. I have to take my grandmother for an MRI at 5 p.m., so I'm not going to be able to get it done before I leave to take her. So it will be a very late one. And that's just the name of the game when your Grammy's 88 and she is your ride or die. All right. Big thank you to Victoria for the donation. And I can just say, had the cameraman today for 2 hours of text messages being read by none other than the Queen witness, Miss Julia from BCI. If he had zoomed in on those text messages, I would have had this episode out and probably would be in my warm bed right now. But for some reason, he kept the camera panned out, except for maybe twice. So I just got finished transcribing all of that, 2 hours worth. First, it did not start with that. And before we get started, if you guys remember on a past episode, Angela was talking about why she said she blocked Hanna May on Facebook, saying that she couldn't stand to look at the profile picture that Hanna May had up. And I have it for you. So I have Sophia's face blurred out, but this is the picture that Angela could not stand looking at it. Why? Because Hanna May looks relaxed and happy. And if you could see Sophia's face, Sophia was very happy too. And I'm sure that ate all of them up. And we will see that progression in these text messages of Hanna May moving on. All right, but up first, Agent Scheider. He decided to purchase replicas of all of the different firearm components that Jake had purchased to build the silencers. And I'm actually trying to get these witnesses' pictures kind of off the middle of the screen. Sorry, y'all. Let me just do this real quick. There we go. And so I kind of thought, oh no, man, here comes another day of like silencer talk. Now, here's the thing. The jury is a majority of women. And hey, women know about guns and all that stuff. But 2 days of silencer parts, you might have lost the jury. So this wasn't super long, thank goodness. But Agent Scheider decided to purchase the replicas of some of the items that they saw Jake had purchased in preparation for the murders, making those homemade silencers. They also got the DVR from Walmart and compared it to the one in the burn pit that they found at Peterson Road at one of the search warrants. He also bought a 1911 22 Walther Colt gun in October of 2018, and they did not rebuild the silencers because, well, that's a felony. I guess if you're BCI, you still can't rebuild them. They also purchased the bug detector bought on George's credit card and replicas of the Walmart shoes that Angela had bought. They got the brass catcher, bait nets, ammo, everything. So I didn't know this, but there was actually a search done on Bethel Hill Road in July of 2017 that Agent Scheider was present for. They knew the Wagners had not lived there since 2014, but number one, with it being a previous residence that they lived at, and also they still had access to that property because Frederica Wagner owned it. They wanted to search to make sure nothing in relation to the murders were dumped there. They didn't find anything of value, but if you are on YouTube, you can see the remains of the house. They showed a prescription for trazodone. It was in George's name, but then again on cross, they couldn't say if it was George the Third or George the Fourth. What I thought was interesting is there is a hospital band for Hanna May there with a date of March 14th, 2014. Not sure what that was about, but we know she had Sophia in November, I believe, of 2013. They found some trail cams and also a few other little things that we'll talk about here in a second. And so, let's see here. There was a trailer buried on the property. It was buried on a hillside. And so after Alaska, they moved to Angela's dad's house, as we know, and Billy went to live with Frederica at Flying W Farms. So once back in Ohio, they had a pole camera. The police and investigators set up these pole cameras that allows them to monitor the residences in real time from an office. And at some point, they did a search warrant of Angela's dad's house in August of 2018. And they did this because they got information that there were threats against law enforcement officials, including Agent Scheider and Attorney General Mike DeWine. They also found Google searches related to forgery, and they recovered devices from those locations. There were Google searches from Angela's device with Agent Schneider's name Googled. That's scary stuff. They also got devices from Flying W Farms, and there were Google searches for histories of the penalty for lying to a grand jury and also lying to BCI. There were a ton of objections. Parker couldn't throw them out fast enough today. When they got back to Ohio, Jake and George got new driver's licenses, and they actually used Angela's mother, Rita's, old addresses that they had never lived at. So on cross, Parker says he has them pull up the photo of Bethel Hill of that pill bottle of George's. He asked if they know it's for Billy or George, and he didn't know. Parker says this is an antidepressant, and he says, I don't know. So we talked about the buried trailer, and he asked Scheider to describe it. And it was a shipping trailer buried on a hillside, and it was used for storage. And Parker asks if he knew Billy was a doomsday prepper. This is like crossover to Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell. And he said he was actually storing things in preparation for the end of the world. And all I can hear right now is that song by R.E.M. It's the end of the world as we know it. Billy had a special vest made that could carry firearms, and Parker says asked if anyone talked to the vest maker. And Scheider's like, not me. Parker's like, you didn't talk to the vest maker? He's like, not me, but somebody did. Parker said, you just said the bug detector was purchased with George's credit card when in fact Angela told you she purchased the bug detector. There's objections. Parker mentions the trail cam and says, you're aware people use them to hunt deer. He says, yes. So on redirect, Canepa says, it wasn't Canepa up today. When they did the Bethel search, they collected multiple cameras and collected nothing of value. He said, that's correct. And Recross, you don't know who bought what. That's correct. So next witness, Matt White, BCI, gun expert, epic beard dude is what I call him. They put up a photo of the diagram from Chris Senior's that shows where the casings were found. He has an ammo box given to him on the stand that has the 7.62 30 caliber bullets. And he examined projectiles from Chris Senior's house, and he shows the fired 30 caliber bullets found inside the residence. Now, we know the 30 caliber bullets came from when Jake was shooting at Chris, or allegedly, well, no, he admitted it. He was shooting at Chris from underneath the truck towards the inside of the house, which I'm 100% convinced when Billy ran out of that house screaming like a little girl, it wasn't because he had just shot his best friend. It was because he was he knew what was whizzing past his head is what it was. On the diagram here, which I'll put a link in the description for those of you who are listening that want to see, I did grab screen grabs of the actual projectiles, but they were blurry. So they're just showing where all those fired .30 caliber bullets ended up. And so those bullets actually weighed more than normal even after being fired. So when a bullet's fired, it causes them to kind of lose a little weight. But this type of .30 caliber ammo is just made heavier. They're in the bottom right corner of that screen, unfired, how they look when they come new. He shows the cartridge case to the jury. He drops a couple. There was a couple of minutes of laughter in there. And he said there was dirt covering the head stamp and the cartridge, so he cleaned it up. And he compared that casing to the reference ammo, and it was the same. So we know that this was the ammunition that Jake had bought. And then he shows a photo of a jacket. So you can see how big. I mean, those bullets were huge. So Julia's back up on the stand, and here we go with all these texts. And I'm going to tell you right now, listening to this probably for a total of 5 hours straight, just text-wise, rewinding every 5 seconds to make sure I can get it all down. It's really triggering to read these because Jake is such a narcissistic mental and physical abuser. And the cycle that you see in these text messages are kind of textbook of somebody who is an emotional abuser and narcissistic. It switches from "I love you so much, I don't know how to live without you" to just telling her essentially she's a bad mom. And one thing that I did find, and this is kind of how the text looked when he even zoomed in. So unless you got like crazy, amazing vision, you can't even make it out. There was a couple of times that he zoomed in on a few. But here's one thing that I do want to show you. So Hanna May's Facebook is still open. It's an in remembrance page like they do nowadays. But if you go to her Facebook page or her Instagram page, it's so full of things that you see why she felt the way she did once we read these text messages. One of these things says she'll be all right, just not tonight. One of them says some of the most important life lessons are the ones we end up learning the hard way. One says her eyes, they used to shine so bright. Forget what hurt you, but never forget what it taught you. But then you also see that cycle of people call it jealousy. I call it fear of losing you. That moment when you burst out crying alone in your room and you realize that no one truly knows how unhappy you are because you don't want anybody to know. And then one that said, my heart is not a playground. Go play somewhere else. There were plenty more where that came from, but it does give you, I think, a really good insight into the absolute pain that and the trauma that she had from being in this relationship with Jake and having a child with him, which adds a little bit of weight to saying goodbye because you're still connected through that child and you have to interact on a regular basis. So when one person is narcissistic and abusive, oftentimes they use that child or your role as that child's parent against you. So let's get started. They found these text messages from the laptop at the Montana border. And some of these are before Hanna May had Sophia, but she was pregnant at the time. So these go from October 13th through October the 15th, October 13th, 2013 until 2015. So you're looking at about a 2-year span here and you see the progression. But then again, it kind of starts out the way it ends in a way too. All right, so this is October 21st, 2013. We know Sophia was born in November. So this is shortly before Sophia's born. Jake says, I'm fixing my truck so Sophie can ride with me because I'm the one taking you to the hospital and bringing you home from the hospital. Hanna May, I think me and you need to live together by ourselves. Jake says, I love you too. Hanna May says, I'm not playing. Me and you need to get our own place. And Jake said, well, I should have by summer. October 22nd of 2013, Jake, I know, but we really need to talk to your dad. Talk to your dad into the homeschooling because you're not going to like me if I take Sophie for 2 weeks at a time and take her to Alaska for 3 weeks. So you need to talk to him. Now, Sophia is still in the womb at this point. Hanna May says, okay. Jake says, and I love you, but I just hope you go with me either way because if you don't, you'll only get to see me once or twice a month till you're graduated. Don't you know that you'll get to see me? Do you know that you will get to see me when I pick Sophie up and drop her off? Hanna May says, nope. Jake says, how you figure? Hanna May says, not if I come down for 2 weeks. And Jake says, yeah, but your dad doesn't want you to do that. Hanna May, I know. Jake, but it upsets me because I don't know what you're going to do. Hanna says, you come stay tonight and we can talk about it. Jake says, well, you got to. If not, you won't get to see Sophie for 2 weeks at a time, and I want you to be with me those 2 weeks. So we jump to October 25th, 2013. Hanna May, what are you going to do if I go into labor tonight? Jake says, use mom's car, but I'll fix my S10 tomorrow. Hanna May says, please stay just in case because she's down pretty low right now. Jake said, no, honey, but if you call me if anything happens, and if you're worried about it, you need to stay with me at all times. Hanna May says, you can stay with me, and Jake says, no. His girlfriend is literally any day now going to give birth, but he can't leave his home for one night to stay with her because this is a kid. She's 15, 16 when she has Sophia. She's scared to death, I'm sure. November 4th, 2013, this is actually 2 weeks before Sophia's birth. Hanna says, I'm not telling you anything when I go into labor. You can find out yourself, not by me. If she comes and you're not there, that's your own problem. Jake said, I told you she is living with me now. You can live with us or not. That's your choice. And yes, I did want her. You just wanted to wait until you didn't have to say, oh, daddy, can I take my kid to the doctor? Am I grounded? And I love you, but I don't care if she's a baby or not. There are people with soft minds. So there will be no naked photos at all. If you don't want a onesie, she can have a different cover. I'm thinking maybe they're talking about the birth photos. Sometimes they do little, discreet ones, but they're naked. Hanna says she's not living with you. Her crib, etc., is at my house, and I paid half the crib. It's mine. All of her clothes are here except a little bit. It will be your worst mistake trying to take her from me, and you're the one that's going to miss out on your daughter's life because of your job. I don't care how much you make. Is that money ever going to be able to replace that time you missed in her life? No, it's not. I'll take myself to the doctor tomorrow. Don't need you to. Thanks anyway. Jake says, Hanna, I'm telling you right now, make a choice and make it now. If you do this, it's over. I'll take Sophie, and if I have to, by force. I love you with all my heart. I'll take her by force, this child that you're still feeling kick inside of you, and then I'm going to take her by force. It is so night and day, just right there, 2 sentences back to back. If you love me and Sophie, you will make the right choice. I want you to live with me and Sophie. That don't mean we have to stay at my house all the time, but she will live wherever I am. I'm doing my job for her. It's my responsibility to provide and give her the best life I can give her. Hanna said, whatever, good day to you. Jake said, I said it would be if you decided not to live with me. Read the whole thing. Hanna said, and you're not going to try and control me like you do Tabitha. I'm much smarter, and that will not happen. So you better get that through your head. I honestly don't care if you were raised that way. I'm not going to try and control me. You're not going to try and control me like I'm a little puppet. And then Hanna says jail bait. I'm going to tell you right now, I have a new respect for Hanna May Roden after reading these text messages because she was caught in a very vicious, abusive cycle. And it is not a weakness when women cannot get out of that cycle. There are a million reasons women can't. Hanna May, being the teenager she was, when she decided she was done with the abuse, she was done. And she didn't mince words with him either. She was not afraid of him. She was not afraid of the Wagners. And that came through loud and clear in these texts. And I was just like, go Hanna May. And it just makes you so sad to think with such a strong mind and a smart girl. And what obviously we know that Sophia was robbed of having the most normal life with Hanna May. And also that Hanna May never got to reach her potential. She got pregnant when she was in her mid-teens by a guy much older. She never got a taste of the real world. She was a mommy first. And I think she would have done okay in this world. She definitely had a good head on her shoulders. I just have so much respect for her after reading these texts. Jake says, really, I do love you and you're not crap. And if you don't want to live with me, you don't love me. It's just guilt. Hannah, it was the plan, but in our own house, and you're trying to control me. Jake says, no, I'm not. And I have to build a house, Hannah, so I need the job. I'm not living there with your brother. Sophie ain't living there with your brother. At least no one in my house would hurt a baby or you. So I'm living at my place until I build a house with Sophie. You can live with me. If someone freaks out, we will leave and come back when it calms down. I'm not sure what happened there. I have no clue. Hannah says, I'm not having cursing, arguing, or fights around her. And Jake said, well, that's fine, but you better start with your own mouth first. Okay, is Chris gone? She says, no. Jake says, good, because I don't want him playing with her or holding her or around her. Hannah says, okay, well, I don't want a lot of things, but you don't always get what you want. He's my brother. You have to deal with him, but I done told him. Jake said, I told him he's not holding her. That's what he wants to say crap to me and you. He's made his bed. A simple sorry won't cut it. If he wants to hold her, he will have to earn it. And that will not happen overnight. So we jump to November 2013. On the 18th, Sophie is born. This is on the 28th, 10 days after the birth. Jake says, honey, Sophia has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. What are you going to do today? Because I could have spent time with her. I know, honey, I need money and it won't take long. I only have 8 days with her. Hannah says, stop sending me the same text. I'm not dumb. I was texting you back and my family has seen her twice in the 5 days she's been born, and yours see her every day. I'm not the bad person. You're trying to keep me away from my family. I love you with all my heart, but you don't even equal the nights out. It's always, we stay at your house where there's absolutely nothing to do, and try to make me feel bad about the whole situation. Jake says, when are you bringing her back? Hannah says, because war. I don't know, honey. Please stop being mean. I love you, and I'll bring her out in my escape after a bit. Love you, Stark, promise. Jake says, I know, but she needs to be with me, honey. I'm her dad. I do my part. I wake up for her. I feed her. I do just as much as you, except make milk. I only have 8 days and I'm already sad about leaving her. That's my job so I can support you and her. So we jump to December 10th, 2013. Hannah says, whatever, fine. Me and my mom will go to the doctor at TRYL. Jake says, Hannah, I wake up and feed her and do everything with her. And if you ever tell me you have full rights to her and I have none again, I will take her from you till we are married. And that's a year away. So think about that. I have every right to her. Hannah says, hey, I don't see where that came from. I get up with her more than you do. Gosh, am I supposed to stay up 24/7? I have to go get her meds. So how long? Then we jump to December 22nd, 2013. Hannah says, ask my dad if I can come over. Jake says, no, Hannah, I'm not. Sophia is staying with me. I'm not asking. Hannah says, you're asking for me to stay and not Sophie? Jake says, no, you can call and tell him I'm coming to get Sophie and want to make sure it's okay if you can go too. Hannah says, no, you can call and ask or I won't even go home. Jake says, Hannah, what do you want to tell your dad? What do you want to tell your dad? Hannah, stay. And if not, I'm coming to get Sophie because if he says no, that's what I'm telling him. And yes, that's what I'll do. Sophie is my daughter, and while I'm home, she stays with me. I'm her dad. Hannah says, just ask if I can stay. Gosh. Jake says, Hannah, think of how you make me feel. Your dad is more important than me seeing Sophie. She is ours, and you should tell your dad you're a mom now and that you're spending time with me. When I'm gone, you will come home when I leave. Hannah says, well, get a different job. Jake says, no, Hannah, I make good money with my job. When will you be home? And honey, I love you, but your dad will tell you what to do until you tell him he can't. So I'm coming to get Sophie and you will come with me, or I will take Sophie and we will use my plan. You get to be the stay-at-home mom and we have to make this work. The only way we can be happy is if you have to make your own choices and I'm fair. Your dad is not. If you stay with me while I'm home, I'd stay with you at your house some of the time. Hannah says, I don't think you're taking her. I'll be home later. Why? Jake says, Hannah, Sophie is staying with me. I'm not doing you stay, I stay. I'll do 3 days, 1 day. Now, if you want me to call your dad, if he will say no, you can come with us or stay at your house. Hannah says, no, it's time to stay at my house. I'm sick of staying at your house all the time. And now it's time for a word from our paid sponsor of the week, BetterHelp Therapy Online. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Everyone deserves to feel their best, and BetterHelp makes it easier to get started. As the world's largest therapy service, they've matched millions of people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. All the benefits of in-person therapy, plus it's more convenient, more accessible, and more affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with the therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Get unstuck with BetterHelp. Learn more and save 10% on your first month at BetterHelp.com/whattheworld. That's BetterHelp.com/whattheworld. They've helped me out. Been a rough year for me. Grateful for their service and the convenience to be able to do it from home. And now it's time for a word from our paid sponsor of the week, Everlywell. Take action today for a healthier tomorrow with Everlywell. Their at-home lab tests and vitamins and supplements can get you the knowledge and support you need so you can become a healthier you. Everlywell is digital healthcare designed for you at an affordable and transparent price. With over 30 at-home lab tests, you'll be able to choose the test that makes the most sense for you to get the answers you need, like the women's health test or food sensitivity test. Everlywell also has high-quality vitamins and supplements to support your overall health. Choose from a variety of options, including vitamin D3 and omega-3 fish oil. Here's how it works. Everlywell ships products straight to you with everything needed in one package. To take your at-home lab test, simply collect your sample and use the included prepaid shipping label to mail your test back to a certified lab. Your physician-reviewed results get sent to your phone or device in just days, and you can share the results with your primary care physician to help guide the next steps. If you ordered vitamin supplements, you can start adding them to your daily routine right away. It's really simple. Over 1 million people have trusted Everlywell to support their health and wellness goals, and you should too. I took the food sensitivity test, learned some of the foods I love were not so good for me. For listeners of Pretty Lies and Alibis, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off an at-home lab test at everlywell.com/whattheworld. That's everlywell.com/whattheworld for 20% off your next at-home lab test. everlywell.com/whattheworld.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me?
The Grinch.
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I'm not staying at your house while I'm home. I'm not doing it. Sophie is staying with me, and this is Jake. And Hannah, if you're so worried about what your dad thinks, look at what you did behind his back. You had sex with me right after we got together and got 2 tattoos. Why can't you stay with me and Sophie like a freaking family while I'm home? Hannah says, F off. Bye. My phone is getting shut off. And Jake says, Hannah, you better think about that. So we jump to the next year, January 12th, 2014. Sophie's still an itty bitty baby at this point. Hannah says, well, if you move away, I'm not moving in with you until we have our own home. Jake says, really? What the heck happened to our plan that you would move in with me as soon as possible? Hannah says, nah, you can come move in with me. Jake says, nope, because I have to drive cut off my house and do everything. Hannah said, exactly. You will never move away from them. I'm not moving in with you ever. Jake said, I have responsibilities. I'm a country boy farm guy. I've told you this. This is a family business. You told me you would be my farm girl. What happened? Hannah says, nope. Jake says, well, that's what I'm doing. If you don't want to be a part of that, that's up to you. Guess you better cut off your finger now. You might be, I don't know, prove it to me. But the other 2, your mom will be raising the baby again, just like she has bovine. Jake says, driving, don't judge. Hannah says, I'm just being judgmental. You probably won't agree, but they should raise their own children. I will watch Sophia no matter what, even if I need sleep and there's milk pumped. Jake says, honey, mom just wants to spend time with Sophie. She doesn't get to as much as bovine. So one night won't hurt. Hannah says, I'll have another baby with you when you move in with me or live with me or us get our own home. And Jake says, that's not fair. Hannah says, yes, it is fair. Jake said, it's too long. Hannah said, sorry then, move in with me or buy a house trailer. Jake said, you just don't want another baby with me. I mean, this is 3 months, y'all, after she's given birth. She's probably like not even healed up yet. And you've got all this drama already. The drama's been there since before the baby was born. I mean, it's so sad for her because she's young. And, you know, you can have a kid and you're still a kid. Just because you have a kid doesn't mean that, you know, all of a sudden you're really grown. By the way, I'm putting this on the screen because at some point this comes in and it's very eerie because Hannah says, is this what you wish would happen? And it is a person, like a female figure with 4 guns pointed at that girl's head. Jake says, you're crazy. I am supportive. And just because we don't have a house don't mean we can't have a baby. I'm a good dad and can afford one more. January 31st, 2014, Jake says, where's your mom? Hannah says, she's west in Yin. I don't know what that is. Jake said, thought you were spending time with her. And Hannah said, nah, I'm just chilling. Jake says, don't you start that crap. You could be with me. That's BS, Hannah. Sophie don't need to be sitting there doing nothing. This baby's 8 weeks old. 8-week-old babies sit there and do nothing but eat and cry and spit up and poop. Jake, Wagner, moron. I mean, what's he going to do? Like, so stupid. So Hannah says she's sleeping. Hannah says, my mom wasn't home when my cousin picked me up. You're not my freaking boss. And yeah, I'm staying with my cousin in Kentucky tonight. Jake says, no, you're not. I'm staying with Sophie. Now, if you want to stay in Kentucky, you go right ahead, but Sophie can stay with me. But you're not taking my time with Sophie away because you want to stay with whoever. Hanna says, I'm done in Kentucky. Wow, you must not know how to read. Jake says, then I'll come get Sophie, but she won't stay there. Hanna says, sorry, not telling you where my cousin lives. Jake says, don't make me call your dad and tell him how it is. And if you don't tell me, I'll take Sophie and you won't get her back. Hanna says, my dad has nothing to do with this. I dare you to because you won't see Sophie. Jake says, we will see. So March 24th, 2014, Hanna says, okay, I miss you too. I need to go back to public school because I'm failing. So I'm going to start pumping this week. Jake said, okay, I guess it's up to you. Me and Mom will watch Sophie, I guess. Hanna says, Jake, school is important just as well. Jake says, yes, honey, but you could do American. But it's up to you. But honey, if you want the truth, I don't want you going back to public school. I'll never see you. I honestly think he doesn't want her going back to public school because he's afraid she might flirt with other guys or realize that she had a baby with a jerk and wants out. Hanna says, okay, it's really a control thing, though. He wants to be with her every second of every day, just like with Tabitha and George. So Hanna says, I love you. Okay, I won't, but I need to pass and graduate. So she gave it up because she was manipulated. January 25th, 2014, Jake says, quit being rude to Mom. Hanna said, how was I? Jake said, well, you was, and God ain't too proud of you for cussing like that. Hanna, and I'm ashamed of you. Hanna said, good for you for being ashamed. I mean, he pulls religion in several times and God this and God that, and he needed Jesus at some point. September 30th, 2014, Jake says, okay, what time will you be home in the morning? If you get there early enough, Sophie can feed the pig. Hanna says, I don't know. I love you. Jake says, I love you too, but Sophie loved the piggies and farming, and I don't want her to have a two-sided life much longer. October 1st, 2014, Sophia is around 11 months, almost a year. Jake says, no, I did not. I didn't get to give Sophie and you a kiss bye. And Hanna says, yes, you did when you gave my food. I love you. Jake says, my gosh, honey, that was 7 hours ago. Don't you think I'd like to have Sophie help me on the farm? Hanna says, yes, I love you. Sorry. Jake says, well, next time she stays with me so she can help me with stuff. And I love you too. Hanna says, whatever. I'll just do photos when you ain't here. Remember, her and Frankie's ex-girlfriend were doing their own little photo business. There's a few that they still have a Facebook page up. I'll have to try to find that. Jake says, no, you don't have to do that. I don't want to take that from you. I just don't want you to take Sophie from me. October 2nd, 2014. Jake says, good night. Love you. Please don't disappoint me and go help tomorrow. Hanna says, you know, I'm a disappointment. Love you. Jake says, not if you try, and I'm going to sleep. We are in Virginia. Load at 9 a.m. Love you. Jake said, and why are you acting like this? Those bugs were partly on you, Hanna, and you don't just get a free ride out of responsibility. This is the real world. Nobody asked you to pay for it. Just do your share and get it ready and putting it back. Hanna said, yes, the bed bugs were my fault. Okay, they probably came from Joyce's house. I have nothing at my house. I've looked over and over again, so screw off. You make me feel like, and I'm so like crap. And I'm so sick of it. I love you. I can't take you treating me like this. Jake said, I love you, but I'm not treating you like crap. I'm trying to make you unlazy. You are an example for Sophie and not a good one half the time. Just gross. October 4th, 2014. By the way, next time I have a baby, I'm having a home birth. Oh boy, what do you think this causes, guys? Jake says, no, you're not. Hanna says, yes, I am. I talked to a midwife. Jake said, don't care if you want a baby with me, then it will be at a hospital. And that's that. If you argue about it, then no more babies. I'll be just fine with Sophie. Hanna says, why? Jake says, not safe for you or the baby, so no. And I mean it if you argue. Hanna says, why? Jake says, don't argue. Hannah says, not even texting you, and don't threaten me with not having any more children, but whatever. Jake says, just saw. Love you, but Sophie and our future baby's safety is my responsibility. Hannah, sweetheart, look it up. Hannah says, don't care, Jake, and it's just going to be me in the room next time. October 5th, 2014, Jake says, I love you too, but you need to take more responsibilities and you know it. Night, love you. Hannah said, I'm not somebody's robot who is programmed to be perfect. Jake says, no, you're a mom who is supposed to do everything she can to set an example to Sophie and help her husband with this farm. Hannah said, yeah, and I am a terrible one too. Sorry. I'll never be the person you want me to be. If you cannot accept that, then I don't know. I've tried to change, but I'm sorry. What does Jake say? Instead of saying, oh, you're a good person, you're a good mother, he says, try harder. Kick the lazy out of the window and start thinking. You don't have to do anything and you'll do just fine. You are the person I want to be with. Gosh, I swear, y'all, my ears are red. It makes my blood pressure go up reading this stuff. You are the person I want you to be, just sloppy at it most of the time. Hannah says, I honestly don't see why I should change for you. You honestly don't change for me. I love you with all my heart, and I couldn't see you with anyone but me, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm dying because you try to control me like your little robot, and honestly, it hurts down inside. You wouldn't understand. You don't have feelings or emotions. Pretty bold statement there, because for her, and a lot of narcissistic psychopaths are like that. I do think Jake has some kind of sociopath. I don't know. Something's really, really off with this whole flipping family. I mean, just putting it out there. Hannah said, like I said, honestly, I just don't know anymore. I just feel like there's a lot of cracks in our relationship, like a plate that slowly keeps cracking and is eventually going to shatter unless the people are willing to work. I just feel my heart has been torn into a million little pieces. Jake says, really? I'm not cracking. And I mean by sloppy that you are great for 4 days out of 7. You help out and do your share and are a great example. You rub my head. You get me drinks and food, but then you get lazy, sloppy, and don't want to do anything. Notice the me, all about me. Hannah said, I never really get to let my emotions out unless I'm mad, and we both know that. But lately, I've just been extremely sad, and I don't know why. But I suck it up and put a smile on my face every day and go on with my life. I don't like to be treated like a dog or like I should have been programmed to do something so perfect. That's just not who I am. I accept who you are, your lifestyle, etc. I don't try to change you on a daily basis like you do me. You want me to completely change who I am and everything. I'll never understand why you cannot accept who I am. I honestly don't know. I was such a horrible person, but I guess I was wrong about myself once again. It seems no matter how hard I try and do anything, I can never make it right. It always has to be something. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just have a lot of emotions built up inside, or what's wrong with me, but I'm just really hurt. And you hate to see that there because she's self-blaming as if this isn't Jake's fault. So she's in that pattern. And these text messages, I think, came at a good time when it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, because mental abuse is just as painful and harmful as physical abuse. Now, Jake did both, but you see here the manipulation of beating her down, convincing her she's nothing. And I think in return, he wants her to obviously change for him, but not only that, change in a way that benefits him and him only, not that benefits her. When partners are together and you see a change needs to be made, it needs to be expressed in a way of, this will be better for you. You know what I'm saying? And then when stuff's better with you, then it's better in the relationship, but it has to start with him. But he's got her convinced at this point, obviously, she's at fault for everything. And it's just so sad to read. Hannah says, so just take 10 seconds and really think about what you say. You want me to completely change for you. I think I've come a long way. I don't drink, even though you try to get me to. I don't smoke, even though I think about it. I try my best not to curse, even though I do and I'm mad. And how far have you come for me? And she put a sad face. I honestly didn't know I was that bad of a person. I'm sorry. Oh boy. Jake said, the 4 good days you're a natural farm girl, and the other days you're like a spoiled city slicker. And all you ever said is you were a country girl, and that's what I aim to make you. You do try, and sometimes you don't. Just because you don't get it right the first time does not mean you should get mad and give up. And I did change for you. Too much to explain over text, but I did. And all I want is to take full responsibility of you, of and for you, and take care of you, buy you what you need and want. So you kind of see that abuse, but I'm going to be super nice to you. It's a cycle. You have the build up, the blow up, the honeymoon, and it's constant. The build up is it's coming. The blow up is the fight. The honeymoon is I'll do anything for you. And it's like you see that 3 or 4 times just in the context of these text messages. So all I ask in return is help like I ask, not be a robot. I love you, but being on a farm is work every day and it has to be done. It's a responsibility partly yours. You might as well be my wife and all that comes with me. So you want me, you got to take the farm too. Told you that from the start. I love you. I'm patient. I can wait. Maybe you'll get it one day. So we moved to October 10th, 2014. Hannah says, I'm done. Maybe you should think about that. I'm sick of the way you treat me. I'll do what I want with my daughter. I have full custody. You have nothing other than what you think you have in your head. You guys have probably already talked to an attorney about that, but I don't give a rat's patootie. You just sit down there and watch that movie with your so-called family. I wonder what movie, The Boondock Saints. Ding dong. Also, I know it was delivered to you from Hannah. It's an emoji of a girl and the 4 gun emojis. That's that picture. And she says, is that what you wish would happen? And it is that picture of that gun right there is what you wish would happen for her to die. Wow. Also, I'm not doing anybody's stuff but mine and Sophia's from now on. That's it. I'm going on strike. You guys think I do nothing now? Wait for the days ahead. I got you. And she put that face emoji. You go, girl. And she gave some dates. It says 11/12/92, 4/7/97 means nothing anymore. That's obviously their birthdays, I think. You are a douchebag to me. I'm not perfect. Why should I have to act like a perfect person? Nobody in the house is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fall down. Oh, wait, when Hannah does it, it's the end, she said, of the mother cracking world. So-called family, so-called family, so-called family, so-called family. October 29th. What? This is from Hannah. What? I just want to stay for one night. Can't you as well? I guess you're going to be mad. Well, why can't I just stay at my house for one day? You're fine. I'll be back tomorrow. Jake says, you will be fine, Hannah. You have her every day and I don't. And I'm the one that goes to work, not you. So when I'm home, I'm staying at my house and Sophie is. Sophie, now, I mean it. Hannah, you break this and we are. Don't. I won't pay for you or do anything for you at all. I'll be gone all week next week. You have plenty of time to spend up there. So that's another form of abuse, is to threaten to take away necessities or anything she needs. That's another scare tactic of sort of keeping people where they are. And I think the number one reason a lot of women don't get out of abusive situations is the financial aspect of it. They're dependent on the abuser's salary. So, and that's what Fruit Loop's doing, her little mission. She's providing safe houses for domestic violence victims. And I think after reading all this, it's really drives home the good work she's doing. I'm super proud of her. So March 15th, 2015, Hannah says, excuse, I'm not willing to change either or you. Jake says, we can work it out, Hannah. I still love you. Hannah says, I don't know. Jake says, we can have a cabin. I can go to college and get a job. Hannah says, I don't want to live on that property. I don't have to live 100 feet away from my dad. Why can't you do the same? March 16th, 2015. Jake says, Hannah, it's not you crawling back. I'm asking you to come back. Hannah says, I'm not Jacob. I told you eventually I won't want to come back, and that won't happen. Jake says, why won't you come back? And she says, because I'm getting my life on track and I need my space. But yeah, we aren't together. So by all means, be with whoever you want, but I'll keep it to myself. Jake says, and just how long do you think it will be before you want to come back? Because of course, abusers think that they can't live without the abuser and they will be back. Hannah says, probably a while. My college is 18 months. And Jake says, well, Hannah, I'm not going to tell you that I won't take you back because I do love you, but it will depend on what you tell me when you say you want to come back. March 18th, 2015, Jake says, yes, baby, we need to be a family. And Hannah says, why? Jake says, because we love each other and suds. How's my baby? Hannah says she's asleep. Jake says, oh, I really hope you see that we need to be a family. So March 9th, 2015, Jake says, I'm back. Why can't you just kiss me and tell me you love me? And he put a sad face. Those generic diapers are too small for suds. She wears Huggies and Huggies only. So you can go buy new diapers and get rid of those generic ones. Hannah says she doesn't have those. They're Pampers, but I'm in class, got to go. Jake says too small, buy Huggies, size 4 slip-ons. Jake says you need to think about it, baby, and he puts a sad face. Baby, please, I love you. Don't you love me, please? I can't love anyone else. You're the only one. Don't want to be alone because I don't. We can make it work. We can be happy, sad face. Just the begging and the bartering. Hannah says, I don't want to be with you. You hurt me. Jake says, baby, please. You hurt me too. Projection. Instead of objection, that's projection. Hannah says, you hurt me. Jake says, I don't want to be alone forever. Hannah says, you won't be. You'll find someone. Jake says, no, I won't. I want no one else. I want you. Hannah said, I'm sorry I'm sorry you pushed me away. Jake says, then how can I bring you back? And Hanna May, you can't. Good for her. March 20th, 2015, Jake, are you with a guy? Hannah says, I'm asleep. Jake says, me and Suds would love to be a family right now. Always bringing the kid in. That's a little guilt tactic, by the way. Hannah says, oh. Jake says, you have until tomorrow night. The choice should not be hard. If you don't come back by the deadline, I will probably cry a little because I know you're gone forever. And he puts a sad face. You're going to lose me forever, Hannah. Don't you feel anything for me? Suds likes Caesar's salads. Hannah says, I know. Jake says, stop annoying me, Hannah. Do you not want to be with me? Hannah says, obviously I done left. Jake says, but do you not want to be with me forever? Hannah says, whatever. I left because of all you did. Jake says, but I'm sorry though. At this point, y'all, Miss Julia, she'd been reading these things so long, she starts a coughing. And it's one of those poor coughs that you cannot stop. And you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm about to throw up on camera in front of jurors. She was hacking up a lung, drinks her water, and then bless it, when she starts back reading, it sounds like she's been crying. And I just love Julia, but she's had some rough moments up on that stand, guys. Hang on. Make sure I'm pulling Julia. I hope she comes back because I like her. Okay. So Jake says, so please, before it's too late. Hannah says, no. Jake says, no, you won't come back, or no, it's not forever. And Hannah says, I'm not coming back right now. Jake says, because you won't have me anymore. I don't know when you will regret it, but you will. Hanna said, you pushed me away. Jake said, and I told you I was sorry and we can make it work. Hanna says, no. Jake says, it's a real sorry, not a fake sorry. Hanna says, you've laid your hands on me before. Do you think I would believe you wouldn't again? You used to smack me in the face for cursing. Jake says, I don't know what to tell you. I don't smack you anymore. And yes, I will never do that again. Oh, he would have. He did worse, as we all know. Hanna says, but you did smack me and you did lay your hands on me. It hurts. That's all. I thought I could trust you. You proved me wrong. Jake said, I thought I could trust you never to leave. Hanna said, obviously not. March 21st, 2015, Hanna says, Jake says, Hanna, you only have 4 hours. Honey, please, it's almost too late. Please tell me something. Hanna says, is it? I told you, I walked away. Jake says, please give me your answer in the morning. Hanna said, okay, I walked away. Why can't you accept that? Jake said, because I can't. Jake said, also, I can never have a son without you. I only have Suds half the time. I would have my other kids all the time, which would make Suds think I love my other kids more than her. So I will not take that chance with that. So I'll never have a son without you, and I'll never love someone else. You're the only one. So please come back. Let's be a family. Hanna says, I don't want to come back. I want to.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.